Cicada here. There are so many fascists in the comment section of my last video, or my second last video, Fighting Fascism Through Fiction. They are like complete and total idiots. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of psyche that one would need to possess to buy into fascism as an ideology. But I am convinced that if you're on the left, you shouldn't take fascism lying down. You shouldn't assume that it doesn't pose any danger to you, because it does. Fascism is a very dangerous ideology. But it's also an extremely stupid ideology, and it's okay to mock and belittle fascists like we've been doing since World War II. Like Charlie Chaplin did, obviously, with The Great Dictator. A while back, I was going to go to a group that said they were going to screen The Great Dictator, which I'd seen on the big screen like 5 years ago, and I fucking loved it. Wonderful movie. They ended up screening this horrible Netflix documentary called Memes to Mayhem that was really cringe, and it was just about like 4chan memes and how they fueled the rise of fascism in America or something. So I'm fully willing to admit that some anti-fascist content is like poorly edited and researched and stuff, because what it was essentially was just like a 2-hour compilation of like the Habbo Hotel thing and the Tom Cruise Scientology thing and all this stuff that's like been covered and edited much more comprehensively for free on YouTube. And it's like, why does Netflix think they can just take all this information and put a little more flashy editing on it and call it a documentary and charge $12 a month for it? Like, just watch videos about this shit on YouTube if you're a Gen X or a baby boomer and you're uneducated about how 4chan works in 2025. I'm internet literate because I'm Gen Z and I understand how all this history played out, but regardless, that's kind of off topic. The Great Dictator, a fun movie, highly recommend, good shit. There were some comments that were like, oh, there's a revolution on the way, Nick, but not the one you're expecting. We're not going to dismantle AI. We're not going to get rid of it. No, siree, we're going to go full steam ahead on it, and we're just going to have a fascist party all day, all night. Ooh. And that's just not how anything works, because fascism, like AI, is completely unsustainable. It is not designed to be sustainable, because it is created out of fear. And one comment even admitted to this, that fascism is a response to fear. It is born out of fear, and that fear is like a natural instinct that human beings are biologically programmed to have. And to that I say, I am more of a transhumanist than someone like Elon Musk ever will be, because I believe that you can overcome fear, you can overcome pain, you can overcome trauma, you can process it in a healthy and mature way, but you can realistically overcome it. Fear is something that you can defeat if you try, if you put a little bit of effort in, and if you have an imagination particularly. I think this is why artists are always generally opposed to fascism, because we have the ability to imagine a world that is better than the one in which we currently find ourselves. And that's a very important skill to have. If you can't imagine a world without AI, if you can't imagine a world where Trump is not the president, if you can't view the world 10 years from now and predict what's going to happen, whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. If you can't imagine that, then you're fucking stupid. You lack perspective, you lack the ability to view history as a continuous chain of cause and effect, which it is. And that's, on you. That's your problem. Sounds like a you problem. The belief that AI can fix all of our problems is as irrational and based in religious dogma as the idea that AI will kill all of us. I don't believe in Rocco's Basilisk any more than I believe in the Heralds of Revelations, because if you'll notice, all the dumb Christians that used to believe in God and Jesus and God will solve all my problems, why does God allow so much suffering in the world? Wow, it's almost like he doesn't exist. These same people are going to place their trust into artificial intelligence. But unfortunately, that's not the way the real world works, and you can't just have a robot do everything for you. You can't worship science in the same way you used to worship religion. That's not the key to a balanced, healthy, or fulfilling life. I am not surprised at all by fascists using the idea that, we need to return to tradition and order, because all human beings have some kind of inbuilt response to hate other people. We have a tribe mentality. It's us versus them. If I see someone of another race or gender or whatever, no. This is so fucking stupid, because scientifically, we're not cavemen anymore. We're not. And I don't want to become a caveman again. Sorry. I'm a futurist. That's what futurism means. Elon Musk, he's not a futurist because he's a fascist, and I'm a futurist. I want to see Star Trek happen, or at the very least, I want to see Dune happen. If we can't have the utopian vision, we can at least have like Dune and shit and cool shit. We can have the Spacers Guild and shit. I'd honestly prefer Dune. I would, like with the Emperor and all that, and the return to feudalism over what we got right now. I really would, because at least that shit's fucking cool, and you can go and ride a fucking sandworm and like that. But fascism operates on the idea that human beings have this inbuilt herd mentality or tribe mentality. What does it say about you that you cannot defy your genetic programming, that you cannot consciously become something better than maybe what you were born, than maybe what you would be if your parents abandoned you and you grew up feral in the woods? What does that say about you? Seriously. That you can't, see someone from a different background than you, a different country, and go, they're the same species as me, because we are all the same species. There's no more Homo erectus or Homo habilis or Neanderthalensis. We're all just Homo sapiens. Why can't we just accept this and focus on, art and shit and doing important things that actually benefit ourselves? And you'll notice that the fascists who claim to want to return to tradition and order all like AI. They're all pro-AI. The same people that claim to be conservative are really in favor of this new technology. Wow, AI. And you know why that is? It's not because AI is traditional. It's not like in the 50s we had it or anything. It's because it's fascist. That's why all the fascists are in favor of AI. Because they're fucking stupid. Yeah. And, I often criticize academia. I often criticize, American college particularly as just, a tool of systemic capitalism. And we already see this, in art schools and higher learning. We just see, everyone being encouraged to use AI. And I've said for years that that's not really the way to get smart. I have a video from a couple years back about academic elitism. The way to get smart is just to read books and become media literate. That's how to actually see yourself in people from the past. You can see yourself as wow, my grandma was Rosie the Riveter. I can be the new Rosie the Riveter. I can learn a valuable skill like gardening or welding or something like that. But you don't really learn all that much from an educational system that is designed to do whatever's the most profitable and the most impulsive at any given moment. I saw a news headline recently that was all the students in 2017 who are told to learn how to code. Coding is going to be the big thing. It's going to be the really profitable industry. Are now being taught to learn how to use AI. What are they going to do when the AI doesn't need to be programmed anymore? Then you'll just have to dismantle this useless shit. You know, you'll just have to dismantle it and learn a real job like electrician, construction worker, plumber, you know, something like that. You'll need to become a waiter or something. If you can't, like, write or draw or paint, or you don't have an artistic capability, you'll need to have a real job. The economy will eventually need to focus on real jobs again, because AI is completely unsustainable. We've reached the end of Moore's Law. There are no more semiconductors or transistors that can be packed into your fucking mobile phone. Heck, Windows might keep updating its operating system till the end of time. I got my computer with Windows 10 just like 5 years ago, and already it's saying it's going to have the end of support. It's going to switch over to Windows 11. And that's fine. Maybe Windows 11 has a couple extra features, but we've really reached the peak of what computers can do. So we're going to need to find a new tack. There's not much more that computers are capable of, that phones are capable of, that they can't just already do. We'll need to start building spaceships and shit, and like, you know, fast, convenient public transportation for people to use. We'll need to actually focus on expanding our minds, expanding ourselves instead of internalizing ourselves and huddling into our technology like little fucking Morlocks, you know? I don't think we're going to become the Morlocks. Don't worry about that. But I do believe that AI is pretty much on its way out, and people are already getting sick of it. Yeah, it defies the conservational laws of physics. You can't get something from nothing. You can't create anything without human input. You can't make more than there is without using up a shit ton of energy. And even then, what you have is nothing more than just a terrible byproduct of everything that you've put. Like, yeah, can you build a giant fucking sculpture made out of all the edible produce in America in a year that could have been used to feed people? Yeah, but you'll have to feed it through a massive shredder that just like fucks everything up and makes it totally inedible, and then you clump it all together into a big fucking statue of fucking J.D. Vance or whatever. Yeah, miss me with that shit. Let's build a statue to the people that are working to do away with this fucking shit. Let's build a statue to the intellectuals and revolutionaries of today who are taking a stand and saying no more of this hot fucking garbage. Okay, that's what we need to see. One fascist in the comments of my Fighting Fascism Through Fiction video said, "Life is not a comic book, Nick." Well, here's the unfortunate truth. Fiction and reality are intertwined. Our myths become reality, our reality becomes myth. It happens all the time. Superman beat Hitler's ass in World War II, and we can just as easily do it again. In fact, that's the reason there's a new Superman movie out this year, because people need an inspiring Superman story. Do I think that's necessarily the best option? Probably not. But it's fucking cool that we still have Superman 70 years on going down the line, and he was created by two Jewish guys. I think that's pretty fucking neat. As it happens, my life is a comic book because my life revolves entirely around comics, and I often draw myself as a cartoon character. Here's Get Dippy, for instance. Now this comic, people see this comic, and they go, wow, Nick, you don't use AI for your fucking comics. This was painted with real acrylic paint. Real actual fluid that I paint onto real physical poster board using my real human hands. And see, people value this, which takes actual skill and time and patience and an actual vision more than they value AI, which takes no time, no effort, no patience, and no vision, and no imagination of any kind. So the more you push AI art, what all you're doing actually is increasing the value of my comics, which, you know, thanks for that, I guess. I've received more orders for Get Dippy in the past, like, 6 months than I've ever received for any comic ever. These are just flying off, and people want to read it, and it's like, yeah, people want to read an original comic series that's actually written and drawn by a real artist. So that's cool. Thank you for increasing the value of paint. You know, well, nah, I'm just kidding. I don't eat this stuff, but yeah, I bet you eat paint because you don't know what to do with it. You don't know that it's for painting. You probably is you. Oh, that's the fascist type deal. Yeah, you don't know how to wipe your own ass, you know? You don't know how to paint, you don't know how to draw, you don't know how to write, and that's why I'll survive whatever's coming up and you won't, because I know how to do shit. And all you can do is just, like, clack out a meager response and then go on to Midjourney or whatever, and it's not gonna help you through whatever's happening currently. Sorry. But yeah, the last point I wanted to respond to was a comment from a particular fascist who said, you are living on the wrong side of history because, you know, I'm in the majority, might makes right, you know, just like every fascist regime, it's the right side of history. I don't believe that America is currently authoritarian. If it was authoritarian, I wouldn't be able to get this video out to you. And I do believe there are enough checks and balances written into the Constitution, enough fail-safes, that someone can't just do whatever. Like recently, Trump wanted to sell like half of the public land in western states, like Colorado and New Mexico and Arizona. Congress was just like, no, we're not going to do this. Even the Republicans, like, no one wants this, no one wants to develop all this nature, because, like, why? Because we don't need to. You know, people who like the city are going to live in the city, people who like the country are going to move to the country. No one wants to live in fucking Yellowstone, there's geysers and shit all the time. Why would you want to live there? So, you know, people can make a difference, and not everything that Trump says is going to happen is going to go through. We're already learning that. Anyway, AI is, you know, it's a tool of fascism, and that's why fascists like it. And that's entirely predictable. That is entirely what I assumed the comments on that video would say. So congratulations, you've fallen for my gambit. That's spot on. You know, AI is the way of the future, but also I belong to a regressive political ideology that encourages fear and just like the complete destruction of everything that makes living in the world good. Fuck you, fascists. Just choke on a bag of shit for me, would you? Like, you're not cool. You're not doing anything. You're just fucking losers, and you just make the world worse by your presence. That you cannot educate yourself. And I don't mean educate yourself via Google. I mean sit down and read a fucking book. That's a problem. And we have a lot of people like that, but there's also a lot of people like you and like me, sensible people who can overcome inbuilt prejudices like racism and sexism. A couple years back, I admit I was a pretty big misandrist because I saw boyfriends as like my enemy, as an asexual. I was like, they keep taking my friends. Oh, they keep seducing my friends, and then they go with the... But I've matured to the point where that doesn't even bother me anymore. And I'm not a misandrist, and I've overcome that fucking irrational stigma, that senseless bias. Right now what we need is to all just come together and appreciate what makes us human. And we're not going to be able to do that if we give in to stupid inbuilt biases, which aren't even natural, because there are many examples of people throughout history defying, or maybe just like because racism isn't an inbuilt personality trait, just accepting that other people exist. Not just in modern times, in ancient times. Like the Roman Empire was very tolerant of all the people and countries under its jurisdiction. There were African tribes that met a pygmy tribe and celebrated the pygmy tribe as the peoples of the earth. So, you know, we can do it. We can see people who are different than us and go, oh, they're cool too. Not everyone is like a massive fucking dick and is just like, oh, these other people, ooh, scary. That's just like fucking stupid. It's just like so fucking dumb. Now, I can't believe I need to say this, but you need to get over that shit. It's just fucking stupid. It's so dumb. You can't just accept that people are different than you. Fuck that. And it's not natural. It's just an outgrowth of capitalism and modernity. Really, it just cropped up when we had to kind of otherize people because they were performing constant free labor for us, and reducing them to the status of machines was helpful on our psyches, because otherwise we'd probably feel pretty shit about it, right? That's really the only reason racism exists. Glasses off. Okay, that's the conclusion this video is drawing. Alright. Well, I'll catch you in the next one. Nixicate out. Fascism gets flushed down the shitter. Till kingdom come. Alright, goodbye. Wahoo.
Demoralization goes both ways. You demoralize me, I demoralize you, and